In this video, you are going to learn about this knight sacrifice, which usually occurs in the alien gambit. If you want to learn some new traps and tricks, stay tuned. Now, see guys, I hate advertisements and I know you don't like them either, but without them, this channel can't survive. So bear with me. This video is sponsored by KaspaChess Clean Books, your all-in-one bookkeeping and accounting application that I personally built. More like quicker books, you know what I mean, designed especially for SMEs, freelancers, and chess players managing both business and personal finances. Please get my fintech apps as a way of supporting my chess academy. Now, back to chess. Don't skip and watch up to the end. The alien gambit. This arises from the Caro-Kann defense and precisely from the Tartar core variation where black plays c6, then you go d4. After d5, you play knight d2. If black takes, you take back with your knight. And here is where it gets crazy, ladies and gentlemen. After something like knight f6, instead of taking that knight, you want to surprise your opponent by going knight g5. And after pawn to h6, then boom! And that's called the alien gambit. In case you didn't know, this is just a free knight sacrifice, but it comes with some hidden and nasty traps. The knight is double attacking the queen and the rook, so black is forced to take, after which you can now safely go knight f3. As you might have noticed, it's hardly easy for black to continue developing normally due to the placement of their pieces. That's why this gambit has a high win rate in rapid blitz and bullet. The top played move in the Lichess database, check for yourselves, is bishop g4, which instantly loses due to knight e5 check. Because you're just going to get back your piece, right? Say black plays king g8. Well, now you can simply take on g4. And after knight takes g4, this is what most average players play. You now go queen takes g4. End of story. You got back your piece, and it turns out you emerged with a better pawn structure and a bishop pair. Next, think of playing moves like pawn to c3, bishop c4, develop your dark square bishop, maybe castle long to be more aggressive, or short. All up to you. Oh, by the way, here is how I love terrorizing my beginner opponents. After bishop g4, I simply go knight e5 check, and the moment they play king e8, I don't even take the light squared bishop. This is in bullet, right? I simply go bishop c4, temporarily sacrificing my queen so that if black takes, I met them like this. By the way, don't do this in blitz. Black can play queen a5 check. I just do this against beginners and opponents that I know I can beat even if I don't have a queen. Instead of bishop c4, sometimes I pre-move bishop d3. Same stuff. This is better than bishop c4 technically speaking. The idea is to sacrifice the queen and mate my opponent. Again, do this to opponents that you underrate or complete beginners just to teach them a lesson. But say, what if they play queen a5 check? By the way, you have an option to save your queen and just play a normal game. Sometimes you can also do this. Bishop d2 is a very cool move. Point is, if bishop takes still happens, you still have bishop g6 check, and this is still winning, by the way, for white. In that, after that, your bishop takes a5 move comes with check, and after b6, that's when you take on d1 with your rook. Not to mention that black is going to lose another rook. So I just do this if I want to make fun of my beginner opponents. Not an insult, right? Anyway, but after king e8, just take that goddamn bishop and move on with life. Sometimes your opponents may be tempted to play king g8. If that happens, the best you can do is to go bishop c4. Again, if they choose to block with their pawn, you simply capture that light squared bishop, and after knight takes, your queen capture comes with this double attack on the e6 pawn. There's little or nothing black can do about this. Even if they play queen f6, you just take with the light squared bishop and castle short. Another move you will see your opponents playing after bishop c4 check is something like king h7. If that happens, you can simply go queen d3. That's check. And the only sensible move is g6, after which you checkmate them like this. And this is the alien gambit for you guys. Now the question that begs to be answered is, what if your opponent tries to be solid in the opening stage? Let me show you a simple plan to follow. So after e4, c6, d4, d5, knight d2. Oh, by the way, you can even play knight c3. It doesn't really matter. Positions will still transpose. Knight f6, and instead of taking, you go knight g5. Once again, h6, then boom, knight sack. Again, let's say black takes. You simply go knight f3 like before, and now this time you are playing an advanced player, so they don't fall for this cheap trick. Bishop g4 is a bad move. The moves you are going to see them playing are pawn to e6, and sometimes they might even start with knight bd7. Sooner or later, they will develop their dark squared bishop to d6 and then put their rook on e8 in an effort to castle by hand. This is what you're going to see from time to time. Now, let me show you your main plan. Whatever they do, just think of playing the following moves, and move order might change. Bishop d3, castle short. Put your rook on e1 to face black's rook indirectly, which will be placed on e8. Your king's knight will go to e5 in most cases, and sometimes you might even put your queen on e2. Your dark squared bishop will most likely be developed to f4, but don't even care about your dark squared bishop. When you place your light squared bishop on d3, it'll be easier for you to follow it up with queen h5 someday. So these are the only plans you need to keep in your mind regardless of what black does. Let's take a look at one example. Say black plays pawn to e6 in this position. You start building your solid position beginning with bishop d3. If they play bishop d6, simply castle short, quick development. At this point, they might play rook f8, rook e8, or knight bd7, it doesn't matter. All you care about is quick development. They might play knight bd7, since they want to free up their queen's knight somehow before developing their light squared bishop. Then you play rook e1. This is the target. And this is when you're going to see them playing rook e8, trying to defend somehow, right? When you reach this position or something that looks like this, just know it is now possible to go in with knight e5. So we were developing all these pieces to prepare for knight e5, and this is check. The moment black takes, just know you are winning the game. Due to pawn takes, that comes with an attack on the knight, so they have to move it somehow, and that allows you to go in with the queen. That's check. Of course, they are going to manage to castle by hand, but that will come with another surprise. Bishop takes h6. Look, they can't do a thing here. If they take, you have queen g6 check. If king h8, that'll be checkmate. If this, you take with check. And there's a mate info that I'll leave for you guys. By the way, if black plays this move, you have queen g7 checkmate. So after queen h5, king g8, and bishop sack, you won't see your opponents taking, allowing you to mate them like that. They'll probably play something like knight f8, after which you simply sacrifice your bishop again on g7. This time if they take, now you up your rook. That's the whole idea. After knight g6, you pin that knight. They may try to hold on to their other knight and delay checkmate, but you can just sacrifice your rook and then go on to checkmate your opponent. From here, there is something like a mate in 5, which I would love you guys to find. Leave your answers in the comment section down below. I'll come back to mark them. Again, after this knight sack and king takes, don't forget to start with knight f3. The idea is to go knight e5 next. It is in these kinds of positions where you will see some advanced players responding with non-committal moves like knight bd7, stopping you from going knight e5 anytime soon. But this is when you can go bishop d3 as before, not bishop c4 check. That looks attractive, but you will just be down a tempo. Either ways, black will play pawn to e6 in this position in an effort to free up their kingside pieces, right? And now you can simply castle short. See what I was talking about? They will still play bishop d6. All these are top played moves in the Lichess database, but this is when you want to go rook e1. And what do we see again? Check your Lichess database. You will find that rook e8 is the top played move, after which you can now go knight e5. Same stuff. We saw what happens after bishop takes, but this time if they take with their knight, we can simply do this. By the way, this is even worse, as you can tell. If they choose to keep their bishop pair, we can go on and take on f6, and after something like queen takes, once again we go queen h5, check. If g6, we take on h6, and black might think, oops, this is a blunder. Rook h8 wins a free queen. Otherwise, they are going to take on h2 or something like that. But guess what? Here comes another shock. Bishop takes g6, which black can't take due to queen takes. And if king e7 or something like that, you can simply save your queen like this. You walked away with a pawn. So even if they take on h2, it doesn't matter. You just play king f1. You're still up a pawn and with a superior position, by the way. You see, there's also another idea of playing pawn to h4 instead of relying on this plan of putting your rook on e1 and knight e5. Let's look at that. After king takes, then you go knight f3 and black plays something like knight bd7 to stop knight e5. Your alternative plan would be to go h4. And point is, after pawn to e6 or something like that, you may follow it up with bishop c4. Let's just say black attacks your last squad bishop like this. That's the point. We can always retreat that bishop back to d3. And the moment they play bishop d6, that's when we give them a check. This will come with another little surprise, by the way. If they play king f8, the rook will die. And if they play king g8, we still go knight g6 to attack the rook. If rook h7, black's position just remains passive. In fact, here we can even plant that knight for good on g6 by playing h5. But queen e2 is something I find to be attractive. From here you can figure it out what you want to do and maybe do that. Another option is to go pawn to g4 after h4, say g4, knowing full and well that if black takes, they just help you to pave the way for your king's rook. Besides, this is only a strategic move in that it allows you to counter-attack that knight after playing knight g5 check. You can also try bishop d2 in this position, and the point is, after the knight goes back or something like that, now that's when we go queen e2. The idea is to castle long and start our kingside attack as quickly as we can. Queen b6, pap. If queen s6, we go c4. We don't want to exchange queens just yet. Pap. Again, knight e5 check. Knight takes will be too simplified for us, so they play king g8. We go bishop h3, wanting to take. By the way, this is a 1-0 check, I should mention. I mean, there's nothing black is doing. They just helped us to place our king on b1. So knight takes, pawn takes. If knight d7, we take. So say knight e8, then we go bishop c3. So my point is, even if your traps or your tricks don't work, if you play the Alien Gambit correctly, you will always emerge with an active position like this. You can see that black is still up a piece, but they are very much behind in terms of development with their pieces, and that's what matters in chess. And that's why Stockfish gives an advantage to white, a plus 0.7, due to poor development for black. So we'll play with all of our pieces. If I were you, I would even consider playing rook d8 on the next move to add more salt to the wound. Also playing moves like queen h5, rook g1, and something like that. Lastly, there is this one hidden trap in the Alien Gambit that most YouTubers don't talk about in their videos. But I'm going to do it for you in the hope that you will share this video or subscribe if you haven't already. By the way, don't forget to leave your comment and solve that puzzle. Say e4, c6, d4, d5. This time we go knight c3 because I said it doesn't really matter. After pawn takes, you take, and after knight f6, you don't take that knight because that will lead or transpose to the normal Tartakov variation. So you go knight g5. Now, not everyone is going to play h6 in this position. Some might even start with knight bd7 first. Let me tell you what to do. Go bishop d3 whenever that happens. There's a higher probability that your opponent will now try to chase that knight away. But guess what you should do to teach them a lesson? Go knight e6 instead of sacrificing your knight. Well, the point is, if they take that knight, you now give them a checkmate. Anywho, if they don't take that knight and say they give you a check, first you go bishop d2 to attack their queen. There's nothing much they can do. They play queen b6, but now you can continue playing a normal game of chess. Knight f3. Oh, by the way, if they take thinking your bishop g6 move won't be checkmate after king d8, well, the thing is their position is kind of cramped. Once again, here you can just castle short, for example, and what can they even do? Nothing. Point is, they will have a hard time to develop their pieces. This is why Stockfish gives white a plus 2.1 advantage. Now check this out, you guys. If you want to learn more about these kinds of tricks or similar opening ideas like the ones I just shared, you can watch this video that has popped up on the top left. Another video that I highly recommend you check out to skyrocket your rating is this one that has popped up on the top right. But if you love Gambit videos, you can check out the video that has popped up on the bottom left. And if you are a lover of chess traps like myself, feel free to click on the video that has popped up on the bottom right.